greatest show. This is the greatest show. Oh man, guys, do you ever just hear that one song? It may be catchy, don't get me wrong, especially in WWE, and just think of Vince McMahon being like super full of himself, getting up and just like pacing around, walking through the office, just jamming to that one specific song, because he would do that. Anything that Vince McMahon would just obsess over, whether if it's a piss joke, whether if it's, something that only he finds funny, like The Old Day, or Bobby Lashley's Sisters, or This Is Your Life, Bailey, which again, I still have not seen that segment to this day. I don't know if you guys will ever get me to crack. I should do something one time. They're like, place a bet. Like a slight little bet. And if I lose, I have to watch that segment. Who knows? So, oh man, maybe, I don't know. But first, guys, what's going on? This is the Club with the Man 1993. Good morning, happy Saturday to all of you. This is my live preview and predictions from, quite frankly, a pay-per-view that I literally have absolute no excitement for. None whatsoever. But still, guys, this is the greatest show! I have no excitement for this show, other than one match that I'm kind of interested in. For sure. Even though I still think it's too soon for it, but I have no hype for this show whatsoever. Trust me, if I wasn't a hardcore wrestling fan who loved coming up on here on YouTube and, just talking wrestling, whether it's good or bad, or, right now with OBS, with me being able to make these fancier graphics and whatnot for my streams and whatnot, if I was not that much into video, I probably would not be watching this show. I'm literally not going to see anything happen on this show whatsoever. Nothing. Just nothing. I'm sorry. I have no expectations for this show. I'm only going to be watching it because I'm hanging out with one of my buddies I haven't seen for a few months. And we're going to watch it together, eat Olive Garden, maybe drink a little bit of the bubbly. Just kidding. Well, actually, he did get some, so I may have a little swig, but I have to drive later, so, But I have no hype for this show. And the thing that pisses me off more about this show is the fact that they're advertising this as the greatest wrestling match of all time. Apparently, Vince McMahon now is completely fine with the word wrestling, because he probably had this idea and just wants to claim that, oh, you're going to see the greatest wrestling match of all time. And then the fact that he's using like a song like This Is the Greatest Show, like Panic at the Disco's Greatest Show or whatnot, or there's that new one he's using now called Oh Yeah, or what I'm sure his parents, he likes hearing Otis go, oh yeah, pretty much. But like, oh yeah, again, like you just, with how full of himself Vince McMahon is, you just can't help but just think of him like, just getting all excited over these crummy little things. Or like, again, every year I swear he always has that one theme song that I could just see him getting up and just strutting around, just humming in his head, just singing to and whatnot. Such as this year, right, so far, it's This Is the Greatest Show! Or last year, I think it was that song Boom, 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 Where It Is, that was used for Stomping Grounds. The year before, 2018, which one would I say for 2018? Oh, Sweet Sensation, especially at SummerSlam. Well, again, SummerSlam 2018 was a good show. I liked it. And of course, the year before that is probably Give Me the Green Light, 'cause I'm ready to go. Basically, I'm getting way too out of hand to context here, way off subject. But again, I have no hype for the show, especially when WWE overhypes it. And here's the thing also. Let me just ask this question. Would Vince McMahon have the balls to hype up a show with a tagline of "This is like the greatest wrestling match of all time." If he knew that if he didn't think he could control the crowd, because think about it, Vince McMahon is able to control the crowd right now, basically telling them how to react. Like, the crowd is staged. There's no secret about it. AEW, come in, be yourselves, be fans. The crowd is stamp a cheer, god damn it, stamp a cheer. Coming from a show that literally got a shot of piss being thrown into Jeff Hardy, apparently banned from the West Coast edition of SmackDown. My friend just texted me that right before I did this review and said that apparently got banned, and piss apparently got bleeped out. Wow. Again, like when Vince McMahon, again, this just comes to show you that Vince McMahon loves to have control. If Vince McMahon was playing a video game and basically doing like a custom player mode or create your own this mode or whatnot, this is exactly what Vince McMahon wants. That's exactly what Vince McMahon is doing. And now that he has the crowd in the palm of his hands now, that he can't control their reactions, and that he can control their reactions, he is literally going to make them act like this is the best thing ever, instead of having the organic reactions from the crowd that it should be. Instead, he's going to make the crowd act like this is the greatest match of all time, rather than allowing the true fans. I'm pretty sure the Performance Center wrestlers and the other ones are true fans. It's just he's not allowing them to be. He's allowing them to be what Vince McMahon wants to have. And your shows are not organic if that's the case. Trust me. We can throw Roman Reigns and Jinder Mahal, for crying out loud, on this show in front of an audience like this, and Vince McMahon will have them act like this is the most awesome match ever. But getting into this, I've ranted enough about this opening, whatnot, about this show in general. I have no hype for it. Other than, again, one match that I'm kind of interested in, but of course I'm kind of not also, which I think is pretty obvious what it is. But we'll talk about that when we get to it. But first, let's check the live chat before we go on. What's up, Mark? You might watch, but just to see if Otis cashes in. I don't see Otis cashing in, especially because I still really think we'll talk that match when we get to it. But yeah, so there's 7 confirmed matches for this show. Last I checked when I made these graphics. And if that's the case, then fine. Even though, because also I hear that the main event, which probably should be the main event of the show, because this is the tagline match, even though AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan was not the main event of SmackDown last night. I still can't believe that. That was a freaking awesome match. So of course, as always, I try to break these in the order I can, but hopefully this show will not go long, especially if Money in the Bank was only 2 hours and 20 minutes, 2.5 hours long. But again, I've heard that main event apparently is long, and it's just a regular wrestling match. But so let's get into my predictions here. 7 matches. We will open up with the women's triple threat tag title match, and I know Bayley is a dual champion, but I still, to this day, could not find, well, it's only been a week, a PNG image of Bayley with both the SmackDown Women's title and the women's tag titles. But they'll be defending them against the former champs Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, and also former champs Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, the Iconics. Sorry, I was trying to imitate the one time when recently Peyton Royce did that, and then she started shuffling away or whatnot, which was kind of funny. But this match. So, as far as putting the tag titles back on Sasha and Bayley, as I've said recently, that's a good idea. It would have been an even better idea earlier, like back in the fall when both of them first turned heel. I think that was the prime time to put the tag titles on the two of them. They put on the Kabuki Warriors, which again, I was fine with, but Sasha and Bayley, I think, could have used a bit more to give them more of a boost. Especially with Sasha. Well, I think Sasha was dealing with some nagging injuries, but Sasha Banks, again, I still keep saying, turned heel finally when she came back last summer. She lost the feud with Becky Lynch. I still think she should have won the title there. I think she definitely that was like the New Day in the club moment where it's like, okay, New Day were fine to keep the titles, but the club needed them more. I think Sasha needed that championship more than Becky back in Hell in a Cell and whatnot. I mean, yes, it kind of solidified Becky as still benefited Becky in some ways, even though she beat everyone and people were starting to get a little. I'm not saying they were turning on her, but they were definitely getting a little bit bored of it because there was nothing else really for her to do. So again, obviously, her, taking this break right now to, give birth to her child in December, it was nice to give her a little break, especially after the run she's had. But of course, as I continue to say, this tag title scene for the women is so dead. There's literally no depth in it whatsoever. Like on the main roster, besides these three teams, who else really is there? You can't bring back the Samoan Slaughterhouse because Tamina and Nia Jax is on separate brands now. Unless you randomly put them back on the same brand. Becky Lynch is gone for now. You could do Naomi and Carmella and do Fabulous Glow like they did at the Elimination Chamber match. You're not going to put the Riot Squad back together. Liv Morgan is a face, and Ruby Riot's a heel. They're doing nothing with them now. There is not really many things going on in NXT either. The Robert Stone brand's dead. Of course, the winner of this match actually next on NXT faces the team of Tegan Nox and Shotzi Blackheart for the women's tag titles. I don't know about that. But because of that, I think they're going to keep the belts on Sasha and Bayley. Because why would they want to send Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss to do a random tag match in NXT, or the Iconics send a random tag match in NXT just to get viewers? I think obviously Sasha and Bayley, again, the ones who wanted to defend those titles again. That first takeover 25, yes, takeover 25 would have been the perfect takeover for Sasha and Bayley to defend the tag titles. Instead, they dropped them to the Iconics because the Iconics were supposed to have a feud with the Bella Twins. But then once things weren't working out for Nikki Bella to come back and whatnot, they completely scratched that. And then they absolutely did nothing. Barely even had the Iconics on TV as women's tag champions for months, so they finally dropped them right around SummerSlam. What was the point? Why couldn't they just got them on Sasha and Bayley? Then again, Sasha still, even she mentioned in her chronicle that she had, no passion for, what was going on with wrestling, at the time. That would have been the perfect opportunity for her, for them, to, go back to NXT and put on a great tag title match. Of course, there really wasn't anybody ready at the time. Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir, it's pretty much dead for them. It didn't work out. The whole 4 Horsewomen versus 4 Horsewomen match, it's probably not going to happen at this point. I'm saying I don't think it's going to happen. I don't see Ronda coming back. I don't see Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir really hitting it off. And Becky Lynch is pregnant now, so who knows? But I think Sasha and Bayley should retain the tag titles. I know a lot of people don't think it's going to happen because Sasha Banks never retains in title matches. She retained at Fastlane when they had the tag titles. But I think here they should. It'd be the better idea. Again, what's the point of putting them back on Alexa and Nikki or the Iconics just to send them back to NXT for a match to draw viewers? No offense. Are the Iconics really going to draw viewers? Are Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross going to draw viewers? No, people actually would want to see Bayley and Sasha Banks go back to NXT to defend the belts. I know Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Nox is still a random tag team. At least get more of a legitimate established tag team. Because I like Tegan Nox. Shotzi Blackheart is still growing on me, but I don't know. So Sasha and Bayley should win them. I'm sure probably next month they'll probably drop them because hopefully they should be doing the match at SummerSlam with Bayley and Sasha Banks. So once again they're telegraphing the hell out of it. So who knows? So that's my prediction for the opening match. I will say is Sasha Banks and Bayley retain. The next match. This match is so dumb. so freaking dumb. Braun Strowman is taking on Miz and Morrison. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Miz and Morrison. Hey, hey, ho, ho. In a 2-on-1 handicap match for the Universal Championship. Why? Again, this continues to show how much WWE actually values Braun Strowman as Universal Champion. Well, they kind of were doing alright with it at first, because I did like the build they had with him and Bray Wyatt for Money in the Bank, but it was just Braun Strowman and natural Bray Wyatt, not the Fiend Bray Wyatt. Basically just Bray Wyatt trying to, get Braun to come back, which is why, of course, he was not dressed as a Fiend. He wanted to protect Braun from the Fiend, pretty much. They had a story there, and the match actually worked. And I'm like, okay, because at first, once again, when Braun won the Universal Championship off of Goldberg, okay, they had no hype for it. They literally just said, okay, Braun Strowman's having a match with Goldberg at WrestleMania. Really no difference than if Goldberg and Roman Reigns had their original match at WrestleMania until Roman Reigns actually decided, yeah, no, I don't need this. And has since then taken time off from WWE, and again, we do not know when he's going to be back. But again, like I keep saying, I thought that they were literally saying Braun Strowman was only Universal Champion because we need him to be Universal Champion, because there's nobody else to be Universal Champion. I thought he was just going to try to just put the belt back on Bray Wyatt. But they didn't. So obviously the story wrote itself as Braun Strowman was probably supposed to face Bray Wyatt at Backlash as the Fiend. And probably Bray Wyatt would take the title from Braun there. Instead, though, apparently the rumors are that Bray Wyatt has not been seen on television because him and JoJo had a baby. So he's kind of going on leave to, start being a daddy and whatnot. So it's probably, maybe we'll get that match at Extreme Rules. Because I'm still predicting for SummerSlam, the Universal title match being Braun Strowman, not Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt and Jeff Hardy. I would like to see that match if Jeff does leave WWE. I would like to see that match, actually. I'm interested in it. Jeff Hardy versus The Fiend definitely, interests me. So instead of actually giving Braun Strowman something credible to do, they just basically randomly give him a 2-on-1 handicap match with Miz and Morrison. And honestly, I thought, even though, once again, I keep saying, John Morrison, this time, should be getting that main event push that he deserves that he didn't get when he was first in WWE 10 years ago. He should have, but he didn't. They're literally just treated him dirty once again. Again, they ruined his return. They had him job out to Brock Lesnar in the Royal Rumble. They gave him a solid run with the SmackDown tag titles, and Morrison had a pretty good showing at WrestleMania. I still didn't like the finish of the match they had at WrestleMania with the triple threat ladder match with the tag titles on the line with a member of each team, but I still thought it was a good match. And now they're literally having him job out to Braun Strowman in a 2-on-1 handicap match. Because they're first mentioning the fact that Braun Strowman lost a 3-on-1 handicap match for the IC title to Sami Zayn, which again was so stupid. Like they did, that match was so stupid. And once again, it's definitely hurt the Miz and Morrison because they've cut a bunch of stuff again on the caliber of Jinder Mahal making fun of Shinsuke Nakamura's face. It's literally, oh, we're going to make Braun Strowman's life a living hell. Is this the best you got? Like, was it the best they got? It's so stupid. So stupid and a waste of time. Braun Strowman's retaining the title here. There's no way he's dropping the title to Miz and Morrison for them to be co-Universal Champions. They've literally made Miz and Morrison just look like idiots in this. I hate it. I'm sorry. So, Braun Strowman's retaining here. Match number 3 is a singles match between Jeff Hardy and Sheamus. Oh gosh, this feud. Just to give Jeff Hardy something to do would be just, it is what it is. But once again, they're digging into Jeff Hardy's past, and digging into Jeff Hardy's, real life, addictions and whatnot. And as I keep saying, it's not working again. Because how many times has Jeff Hardy pretty much been in this storyline where it's like he's trying to prove his innocence and whatnot? I mean, okay, I give him credit on that segment last night on SmackDown. They at least try with Jeff Hardy admitting that he keeps going back to it and he's trying to, and how, like, you know, dealing with addictions sometimes isn't easy to overcome. But once again, we've gone back to it how many times? It's old, it's recycled, and it probably just did it just for them to do that stupid segment. That stupid segment with the urine test. Oh my gosh. They recycled once again HBK and the Vince McMahon segment from, back in 2006, I believe it was. But probably just to really give Vince a laugh. And the fact that parts of it got bleaked out, or the fact that apparently when Jeff Hardy tossed that huge thing of piss onto Sheamus, and basically that got edited out apparently of the West Coast edition of SmackDown, it brought this feud down to a whole new low. The match could be solid. I think it could be a solid match. I think these two definitely could put on a good match together, but the story just writes itself. I do not care at all about this. Jeff Hardy's going to win, as I'm predicting, and we can just move on from this. Because, again, this is just... It started off with just Sheamus whining about every time he had a match. They started talking... It was getting ready for a Jeff Hardy, vignette or whatnot. And Sheamus was beefing about that. I mean, they didn't have to... Again, it's just stupid. So, Jeff Hardy's going to win this and end this weird storyline. Anything in the live chat? Nope. I don't blame you guys because nobody cares about this show, and neither do I. But I still am doing preview and predictions for you. So, next match for the United States Championship: Apollo Crews versus Andrade Cien Almas. Which I'll give credit. This is not the match I keep saying that I'm kind of interested in. This actually could be a pretty decent match. Here's my thing, though. Paul Heyman this week was let go as the executive producer of Raw. Because apparently Vince wants to have the same people writing both shows. Which, why would you do that if the whole point of having two shows is having its own uniqueness and whatnot? So, my thing is Apollo Crews probably is only getting the push he's getting because Paul Heyman actually sees something in him. And here's the thing. Since Paul Heyman was made executive producer of Raw last summer, almost about a year ago, it was right around Extreme Rules. Not everything was hit out of the park. There was some intelligent, insulting moments, which I'm pretty sure was stuff that that Vince actually got breathed down his neck about for him to basically do or whatnot. But what I do give Paul Heyman credit for, even if a lot of people got crap, he still was giving opportunities to different superstars. He was kind of, making the Raw roster feel fresh and giving us a lot of fresh material and a lot of fresh, feuds and whatnot. Such as Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy. Really good feud. I liked it, and it definitely, even though Aleister Black won all 3 matches, Buddy Murphy still felt like he was built as a star. Yes, the Monday Night Messiah thing was Vince's idea, but, Seth Rollins being a heel, I think, has been good for him. Kevin Owens, once again dragged, that was good. So, with Bruce Pritchard now, I don't trust Bruce Pritchard to be able to continue, the work in progress of Apollo Crews. Because a lot of people still think Apollo Crews is the same Crews who was losing, just having a championship. I can understand that, and I still see it too, but I do also see it being a work in progress. But now that Kevin Owens, even Kevin Owens I think will suffer from this too. Now that Paul Heyman is not the executive producer of Raw, I don't see Apollo Crews being able to get that successful work in progress, slowly but surely, under Bruce Pritchard. So, what's my prediction? I want to see Apollo Crews win. I'm going to still say Apollo Crews. But something will not surprise me if they decide to put that U.S. title back on Andrade. which again, I like Andrade, but Andrade at least has some momentum. He has some type of credibility to him. Apollo Crews does not. So, it wouldn't surprise me that they put the title back on Andrade. But I'm still going to say Apollo Crews. And I hope it's Apollo Crews. And I hope his push does not get ruined because Paul Heyman's no longer executive producer. Because again, he was brought over to Raw because of Paul Heyman. If not, he'd still be on SmackDown doing nothing. So, we'll see. Again, I still kind of hope they do this rumored stable of MVP and Bobby Lashley and Apollo Crews and Cedric Alexander and Ricochet, who we have not seen since they lost to Shane Thorne and freaking Brendan Vink. Yeah, that freaking weird ass song for Shane Thorne's theme. What's up, Tia Couponer? Hope Apollo will have a long run as U.S. champion again. I hope so as well, but like I said, the problem is if Paul Heyman was around, he would. But since Bruce Pritchard is now executive producer of both Raw and SmackDown, sounds like John Laurinaitis for crying out loud, I don't trust them with Apollo Crews. But still, guys, don't forget, this is the greatest show. Yeah, once again, I'm having way too much fun with that song. Just thinking about Vince McMahon just getting up, strutting around, and just, acting like it's the best thing ever because he's addicted to freaking stupid stuff. Anyways, so, yeah. I'll say Apollo Crews retains, but I still would not be surprised if they put the title back on Andrade. So that's what I'm going to say about this match. And then match number 5. Asuka versus Nia Jax. For the Raw Women's Championship. So, obviously, once again, Asuka is Raw Women's Champion. Becky Lynch was pregnant, so she relinquished the title. She didn't relinquish it. She secretly made the women's ladder match at Money in the Bank for the Raw Women's Championship, which was stored inside the women's Money in the Bank briefcase. So, because of that, Asuka won. Asuka won. She wasn't gifted the Raw Women's Championship like Nia Jax claims, because it makes absolutely no sense. It's all Nia Jax can really say. Oh my gosh, people are freaking talking about me. It's just great. Oh my gosh, people are talking about me. Yeah. You literally take your poor work ethic and hurting people, and you try to take that heat, that white heat you get, and go and tweet about it on Twitter. I'm sorry, that does not make you look good, Nia. It does not. But the reason why I don't care about this match. Remember 2 years ago when they had this feud, whenever Nia Jax, basically the only one not picked for the first ever Women's Elimination Chamber match? So they gave her a shot against the Royal Rumble winner, Asuka. And if Nia Jax won, she would earn an opportunity to fight for the championship at WrestleMania, to basically fight the same match as Asuka. Here's the thing, though. Remember this. Keep this in mind. Nia Jax tapped out to Asuka 3 weeks in a row that year, including that match at Elimination Chamber. And she still got an opportunity because Alexa Bliss hurt her feelings. She was a bully, remember that? Well, guess what? A few months later, Nia Jax was back to being a bully herself. And this feud again is so dumb. Once again, oh my gosh, Asuka won a ladder match that, oh my gosh, just freaking had the contract, had the title involved in it. Oh my gosh, Asuka got gifted the title, basically, and I didn't, but oh my gosh, people are talking about me now. And of course, I still won't forget oh gosh, I still get nightmares about this. 2 weeks ago on Raw, when Asuka was having a match against Charlotte Flair, overexposed, on Raw, and Nia Jax came out to literally mock Asuka's entrance. It looked so stupid. It looked so fake, and it was not even funny. It was just, bland as hell. Ugh, I hated it. And also remember, Asuka lost to Charlotte Flair. Well, not clean off a distraction, but still, she continues to lose to Charlotte. Honestly, have Charlotte and Asuka at SummerSlam where Asuka hopefully finally wins. But with how many times they've had the match and Charlotte wins, I can't trust that they're going to actually finally let Asuka get that victory. Because what, they're going to say, oh, there's nothing else for Asuka to do as champion. Well, there's nothing else for Charlotte to do as champion either, yet you'll keep putting it on her how many times just to have, 1 month reigns. But, yeah, Asuka's retaining here. There's no way she's dropping the title to Nia Jax. Not happening. Again, unless they do Asuka and Charlotte at Extreme Rules and do Asuka and Kairi Sane at SummerSlam, but are they really going to be that thoughtful? No, because they don't see Kairi Sane as anything. So Asuka's going to retain here against Nia Jax. Hey! And we got that. So, moving on now to match number 6. The WWE Championship match. Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley. I actually am interested in this match. I actually am. Why? Because I like Drew McIntyre, and I've been wanting to see Bobby Lashley get the correct booking he should be getting. They're, of course, pulling him away from him and Lana. Thank goodness. Lana actually had some senses recently and said that I've been focusing a little too much on my Bobby and my marriage. Maybe I need to start focusing on myself. Once again, you went from a clingy sex freak, even though Rusev cheated on her. Rusev had sex with her. Rusev wanted to put a baby inside of her. Again, it made literally no sense, but don't get me started. Then there's Bobby Lashley, who one screw up Lana does, all of a sudden, oh my gosh, I need new management. Oh my gosh, it's the end of the world again. Because Bobby Lashley does not freak out not get pissed off when worse things happen. And when the tiniest little thing happens, it sets him off the edge. But so they're actually doing this thing with Bobby Lashley and MVP. And I dig it. I like it. And it definitely feels like Bobby Lashley's getting on the right track. Keep that in mind, though. Getting on the right track. Because I keep saying, this match could happen further down the line. If Bobby Lashley is the one to take the title off of Drew McIntyre, I'm fine with that. I wouldn't mind seeing Bobby Lashley have a run in the main event scene with the WWE Championship with MVP as his manager, basically. I like it. It works. Just not now. I still think this is too soon. Mainly because, one, it's just getting started with Bobby Lashley and MVP. I think they need to get a little more credibility built up to them. And two, Drew McIntyre's only been champion for, 2 months? He deserves... A man who's worked his ass off, had to literally leave WWE, start from scratch, reinvent himself just to get back, to get to this main event run, does not deserve to have a 2-month title reign in front of a no audience and a fake audience. He deserves, for crying out loud, to be the almighty standing ovation, big pop he should have gotten at WrestleMania when he won the championship. He should have gotten it in front of a live audience. So that's why I still think this match is too soon. But I don't want to see Bobby Lashley lose his first title defense, because then what's the point of, having them get together if Bobby Lashley is just going to not capitalize and win? Because what's the difference? He was losing with Lana. Well, he was beating Rusev all the time when he was with Lana. But the moment he lost the first time with Lana, holy shit, it's the end of the world. That's the thing. So that's why I think it's too soon for this match. So, honestly, the best way it's probably going to be protected is McIntyre's retaining, but they're probably going to have Lana get involved somehow. Just have some screwy finish to, put Bobby Lashley winning the title on hold pretty much. Just so we can have a storyline to officially get rid of Lana out of Lashley's life or something. That's the direction I see going. Because once again, it's too soon for Drew McIntyre to be losing the championship. And it's also too soon for Bobby Lashley to be losing on pay-per-view. Especially, I keep saying, especially whenever they're actually starting up something that interests me with him and MVP. It needs more time. It needs more time. That's why I still think it was too soon to do this. Honestly, I would have been okay with just them doing Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal and just getting it out of the way and Drew McIntyre winning. I would have been just fine wasting that match on this shitty show. I would have been fine with that. It would have been okay. So, that's why I'm going to say Drew McIntyre retains, but it's going to be some crappy finish involving Lana or something like that. And they're going to focus Lashley back on that to get Lana out of the way, and then maybe in months down the line, maybe in the fall, hopefully when they're back in front of a live audience also, eventually maybe Bobby Lashley could be the one to dethrone Drew McIntyre. Which again, I want to see McIntyre have a long and successful, strong reign. I think he's done well so far, but like I said, it's too soon for him to be dropping a title. And Bobby Lashley is definitely one person to definitely be a candidate, I'd say, to definitely take the title off of Drew. But like I said, it's too soon. So, yeah. That's what this match is. So now let's move on to it. Well, first let's check the live chat. Cedric Alexander, Ricochet, Bobby Lashley, Apollo Crews, MVP, New Nation of Domination, managed by Mark Henry. Ooh. I dig that. And Asuka better retain the title. Still is my impressions. They wanted to see Asuka to win versus Charlotte, but Nia ruined that, of course, because the moment Nia walks in, it ruins everything. Sorry, I just can't stand her character. But let's move on, guys. Let's talk about it. You ready? This is the moment you've been waiting for. The moment that every wrestling fan has dreamed of. That big moment. The best thing ever is about to happen here. Because let's talk about the greatest wrestling match of all time. It hasn't happened yet, but it is still the greatest wrestling match of all time. Randy Orton, Edge, one-on-one, no stipulations. This is the greatest show! Oh yeah! This is the greatest show! This is the greatest wrestling match of all time. Edge, Randy Orton at Backlash. The greatest wrestling match ever. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I already ranted about this show at the beginning. Let's talk about this main event. Rumors of her already been taped, of course, and apparently it was a super long match. And I know there was a lot of people that did not like the match between Orton and Edge at WrestleMania because it was too long. And they also didn't like it. Again, I liked it. I can agree, though, that it was too long. This does not need to be a long match at all. It doesn't need to happen. Again, as I said earlier, Vince McMahon has the gall to basically say this could be the greatest wrestling match of all time because he cannot get the reaction that he knows that the crowd would give us. But now that he actually has a crowd that he can control, like I said, he can make them act like this is the greatest thing ever. And it's organically not going to be the greatest wrestling match ever. Edge and Randy Orton are both in their 40s. Edge is 46, Randy Orton's 40. Their bodies, they can still do it whenever, they still have great performances, For sure, they have it in them. But as far as them putting on the greatest wrestling match ever, these two don't have the capability, the chemistry together to do that. They can tell a great story, yes, but as far as the greatest wrestling match ever, they're not. They're not going to be able to hit HBK and Undertaker, or Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole, or like wrestlers who can put on like those one-on-one matches that could literally, that doesn't need a stipulation, that just makes you appreciate wrestling that much, just one-on-one. I'm sorry, it's not. That's not the case. And also, they're doing it at a B pay-per-view also. They're doing this at a B level pay-per-view. Why isn't this really like, this hype for, WrestleMania or SummerSlam? You're already hurting the credibility of two of the best of all time, Randy Orton and Edge. You're hurting, the level of, what should be, higher level pay-per-views like SummerSlam and WrestleMania. Remember the show this year, WrestleMania, the show too big for just one night. You heard that how many times every week? Just like this match, this could be the greatest wrestling match of all time. Why are you saying in 1 week this will be the greatest wrestling match of all time, or in the next week you're saying no, this could be the greatest wrestling match of all time? So why hype it if it's not going to definitely be the greatest wrestling match of all time? And here's the other thing, too, that gets me about this match. Why are these two fighting again? Like, why? Edge coming back as an attraction. I mean, again, Edge, he's not a full-timer. He's a part-timer. He's an attraction. Not every single feud you have has to have a series of matches. And I just think the story was concluded at WrestleMania. I don't think Edge needs to fight Orton again. Like, why not have, Edge and Seth Rollins, or Edge and AJ Styles, Edge and Aleister Black? If he was back, Edge and Roman Reigns, Edge and, I said Seth Rollins, Edge and, who else? Brock Lesnar. Did we ever get that match? Edge and Brock Lesnar? Two part-timers, but I'll take it one-on-one. I'm fine with it. Edge and somebody else. Like, unless if it really is there, this does not need to be a series of matches. It doesn't. These two didn't need to cross paths again like this. If they wanted to have, Orton, say, okay, I'm sorry, I realize, blah, 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 and actually give Ray and RKO one last run together, fine. I'm fine with that. But, this does not need to happen again. This is just to also draw viewers. But you could have had viewers with these two facing different people. Not freaking the same people again. It doesn't need to happen. Again, if this match was on in front of an organic audience, it became crapped on. It became completely crapped on because we're supposed to believe that this is the greatest wrestling match of all time. But like I said, Vince does not have the organic crowd. He has his crowd. So he can turn on that video game and make them cheer the crap out of a match that's probably not going to be, this match could still be good, but it's not going to be a 5-star classic. It's not going to be a freaking classic like AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan last night may have hit, or may have almost hit, because of how good the match was. That's not going to be the case for this match. It's going to be good, but it's not going to be that freaking awesome that you could say it's going to be one of the greatest of all time. It's going to be one of those matches that people are going to laugh about in years to come, because, again, it was literally a match they hyped up as the greatest thing ever. And it's not going to be the case. And also, the thing that bothers me about the storyline is, how can Edge go through a grueling last man standing match at WrestleMania to just tease that he has doubts about he could actually wrestle a regular one-on-one wrestling match? Like, how dumb is that? It's just super dumb. Like, how can he go through like something like, more advanced and grueling to just, the normal? Like, the goal behind this is to basically say that Edge can actually wrestle a regular match. It's stupid. So Edge wins. Like, again, like if Orton wins, then like, what's the story gonna be? What's the story gonna be for them to have a third match? It's not needed. It's not. Like, seriously, it's so dumb. So Edge needs to win this. But again, it's not going to be the greatest wrestling match of all time. And this show is not going to be that great. And that's all I'm going to say about this show. I definitely talked a lot more about it than I am expecting this show. So, that's going to do it. My Backlash 2020 predictions. This is the greatest! No, I'm going to stop because I really have to, eat lunch and get moving here. Because I got to go pick up one of my friends here soon. I leave at 1. So, let's go do it, guys, for my Backlash preview and predictions. I have everybody retaining their titles. So, again, my picks are Boston Hug Connection retaining, Braun Strowman retaining, Jeff Hardy beating Sheamus, Apollo Crews retaining, but don't be surprised they put the title back on Andrade, since Bruce Pritchard's now in charge. Asuka beating Nia Jax. Drew McIntyre retaining from some bullcrap with Lana, and then Edge beating Randy Orton in the greatest wrestling match ever. Not. So, that's going to do it, guys. Let's check the live chat also before I go off the air. Which one is worse, once in a lifetime or greatest wrestling match ever? I mean, once in a lifetime was a lie. It was not once in a lifetime. But hyping something up as the greatest wrestling match ever is like saying way too much. At least once in a lifetime at one point could be believed. Greatest wrestling match ever could not be believed. Especially during guys that literally just had a match. You don't hype something up. You can't say this is going to be the greatest thing ever and then not go through with it. Yes, the same as with once in a lifetime, but once again, as I said, at least once in a lifetime, you can't just give people that doubt at first. You know what I mean? But yeah, let's go do it, guys. I gotta get going. So, guys, what are your thoughts on these predictions? What are your predictions for Backlash 2020 as well? What are your thoughts on this? Do you think Edge and Orton could have the greatest match of all time? Are there matches you actually are excited about? What are your predictions? Leave your thoughts down in the comments section below. Be sure as always to slap a like on the video, subscribe more content on my channel, and follow me on Twitter at DemandAirboy93. And guys, I check it out. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. I will see you guys tomorrow for my Backlash review, which I will do after I get home from my friend's house. And with that being said, I'll see you all later. Have a great rest of your day. Peace out, everybody.